Good morning. Wanted to make sure the clock got in the picture. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that's perhaps a bit unusual. I'm going to call it the ninth wave, the Illuminati, Lords of the Underworld. It's going to be a different thing than you've perhaps considered before, because with the awareness that's happening on the planet of how the world has been working, many people have come to understand that the Illuminati, at least the Bavarian Illuminati, that goes back to Whitehaupt in Germany in the 17th century. I'm sorry, the 18th century. These are the people that perhaps took over the banking, the international bankers, and have been basically running the world until the current time that we're living in. Most of that time, the majority of people on the planet didn't know a thing about the Illuminati. In today's day and age, thanks to the internet, many people know about this. And there have been people that have known about it and warned about it. Actually, I heard about it the first time probably way back when I was a fundamentalist Christian, probably in the 60s, when I was still a young man, even in my teens. But today, as I said, a lot of people know about the Illuminati. And the Illuminati means light bearers, actually, and it may seem like it's an oxymoron. How could these lords of the underworld that are responsible for depriving people of their rights and taking away their power, and I say their, it's our, because there's only us here. Remember, I don't see things the way a lot of people have been trained to see things, although I have seen things the way people have been trained. I've seen that this is a war between light and dark, good and evil, this whole game that we're playing here on this planet and in the cosmos. I've seen it that way too, and I've struggled the same as people struggle with trying to understand how these things could happen. How could a loving God allow such things to occur in the human race? And not just in the human race, what they've done to the planet itself, what they've done to animals, what they've done to life. It looks atrocious. I get it. I get it. Do you understand? I get it, how hard it is. And yet, what Spirit is saying to me, it's all one thing. It's not two things that are happening. It's one thing that's happening. And it's the evolution of consciousness. It's what the Mayan calendar has been all about. And this is the opening of the underworlds. And it's the opening of the understanding of how the underworlds work. And so today I'm talking to you about the Illuminati, this group of individuals who have done nefarious things. I mean, they've done atrocious things. Waging war, dividing people against themselves. Why? Why are they doing that? And more importantly, why is God allowing them to do that? If God is God and God is love, I mean, how can God allow evil? It's a question that philosophers and thinkers have wrestled with from the beginning of time. Why do bad things happen to good people? The Illuminati are bringers of light who work the dark side. Hard thing to comprehend. So is Lucifer. So is Lucifer, a bringer of light. He is the most brilliant of God's angelic creations or archangelic creations. The most brilliant. He's the brilliant one. He's the beautiful one. Lucifer. And boy, I know, I can feel the rage of people coming against me as they even listen to this. And some probably are tempted, if they haven't already, just shut it off and said, I'm not going to listen to any more of this nonsense. But God, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. There is one faith, and one Lord, and one calling. It's the evolution of consciousness. God creates through evolutionary processes. This is a process, this time and space gift that we've been given, this linear time aspect that we've been given. Seen from the eternal perspective, it's God working everything after the counsel of God's own will. God knows the end from the beginning. And everything, but everything, is in divine providence. As I keep on saying of the story of Joseph in the Bible, the coat of many colors. He was sold into Egypt by his brothers. And when they came to Egypt to get food to take back to Palestine, they were frightened when they realized that this is their brother. This is the guy they sold into slavery. And he said to him, God meant it for good. I know you couldn't see the fact that you were doing something good. You were envious, you were jealous. But God meant it for good. And that's the same way it is with the Illuminati. They don't see. These people are on a mission from God to awaken humanity, to awaken the children of God and help lead them into adulthood through the process of human slavery. Yesterday at the New Way, we had a black lady, Julie, oh God, what was her name? Julietta Barton, I believe. But I'm not, that doesn't sound right. But I think it is. In any case, she was brilliant. She was absolutely brilliant, talking about Black History Month. And she talked about John Newton, who wrote the song Amazing Grace. He was a slave trader who later became a minister. And he wrote a song that is known all over the world, been sung at all sorts of events, as she pointed out, that was originally written in the scale with 5 notes instead of 8 notes. The pentatonic scale, or however you say that word, only using the black keys on the piano. Amazing Grace. And she talked about divine providence. How it was divine providence that he first become. It was in the absolute will of God that he first become a slave trader. And then he could see how God could make a wretch. Amazing grace that saved a wretch like me. And New Thought people change it to a soul like me, because even the wretches are souls. They're souls. You see, the Illuminati has done all this stuff to the world. They've done all this stuff. They've played all these games with our heads and with our lives. And it looks like they've murdered lots of people. It looks like they've done atrocious acts. And from the human perspective, that's true, they have. But from the higher perspective, from the perspective I want to get you to see, God's plan is working in all of this. This is the time, the 9th wave, this is the time for understanding the Illuminati, the lords of the underworld. It's a time to know that we're not at war with them. And I'm going to do what I've done before and what I will continue to do. Hold the whole world in your heart. Stop seeing things through the lens of separation and warfare. Because that's not the reality from the highest perspective of life. It just simply is not the reality. It's important to see it. It's an important lesson so that we don't repeat it. It's important to understand this drama that we've been through, this history that we have created, his story. It's important to go back and to understand her story. But it's one story. The masculine and the feminine, the dark and the light have been dancing with each other since the beginning of time and space. In this thing we call creation, which is also called evolution. It's one thing. It's not two things. It's one thing. It's not the end of duality when we see this. It's the understanding of duality. We're not at war with polar opposites. We're not at war with each other. We are dancing with each other. It only appears to be a war from the limited viewpoint of our ego consciousness that sees itself as separate. I'm trying to get you to understand this. This is such an important concept because it will liberate you when you understand it. It will liberate your soul. It will establish you as an adult of God because now you have understanding. You understand how this whole thing has been happening. And you understand that in everything that's happened that you've considered negative, it's a gift of God. It's a gift of God to you. It's the grace of God, the amazing grace of God, the radical grace of God that takes the dark things and shines light, that takes war and creates peace. And I don't believe we become peace or we establish peace by waging war. Yet that is the process. We have waged war of this against that, the opposites fighting each other. But this is the time of oneness. This is the time of understanding the Illuminati, lords of the underworld that play the dark role. Hold the Illuminati in your heart. I know that may seem like a challenging thing to do because when you understand what they have done to us, the us and them again, when you understand that, you get angry, even enraged, and you want justice and you want punishment. Justice is merciful from God's point of view because God knows the end from the beginning. The slave trader becomes the one who writes Amazing Grace. The international bankers are the ones who teach us that creation is always creating something out of nothing. The derivatives market, all of these games that have been going on in our world, all of these games from God's perspective have been building into the evolution of consciousness and the awakening of humanity to move from slavery to freedom. And slavery is not a black issue or a white issue, it's a human issue. There is no us and them, get over it. There's only us here. And we are all, listen to me, we are all children of God. Every single one of us, whether we play dark roles or light roles, whether we're Christians or Mohammedans or Hindus or Buddhists or Jewish, it doesn't matter if we're Republican or Democrat, liberal or conservative. It doesn't matter. All of these divisions that dance with each other, that have warred with each other, all of these have been part of a bigger game. Get the picture. The Illuminati, the lighted ones, are lords of the underworld to teach you, to teach me, to teach all of us that we can create something out of nothing, that the whole of physical creation starts with thoughts, starts with intention, starts with feelings that animate those intentions and bring it into creative visualization and creative manifestation. That which is invisible is made visible. This is the way creation works. Hold the whole world in your heart. It will change your life when you do. It will end the war. It will end the battle in you. This is your Armistice Day. Make peace with your dark side, represented in the world by the Illuminati and the international bankers and the Zionists and the Vatican and all of the things, the Masons and all of the secret societies and orders. Make peace with this, and it will change your life forever. And once you see it, you can't go back to not seeing it anymore. Look at things from God's perspective. The all in all. Namaste.